You are listening to the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer. Chitra Iyer is a parent of 25-year-old Shravan Iyer who has epilepsy, cerebral palsy and autism. She is the CEO of MFA and has been helping families with life-centered planning to reach their personal financial goals. She is also a trustee of a parent support group, the Forum for Autism, which was set up almost 2 decades ago. MFA is an 18-year-old organization in the personal finance space. They have set up a dedicated practice to help families with special needs children to plan their financial goals and invest for them. The thoughts shared here are a result of the discussion with parents, caregivers, siblings, and professionals regarding the planning of a person with special needs.
A big warm welcome to all of you on this expert series of my podcast for special needs children. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview with me, Kavita. Hi.
Hi, Chitra.
Thank you. Hi for a big warm welcome and a big, huge hi to, across these internet waves and a huge welcome to you on this expert series of my podcast for special needs children. Thank you for your time and agreeing to doing this interview with me.
Thanks, Chitra.
So, in this episode, to formally introduce you, I have the founder and managing trustee of ChildRaise Trust. I've known Kavita for years now, for very many years since I got introduced to her because of my son. Kavita is a psychology graduate from Mumbai University and did her B.Ed in special education from SNDT, Women's University in Mumbai in 1995. An employer of RBI, a trained classical singer and accomplished actress, Kavita was busy donning many hats earlier on in her life. While attaining motherhood, she developed seizure disorder, commonly known as epilepsy, or tendency to have fits, which is continued in the later years, though very sporadically. As the journey began, Kavita joined Sanman Epilepsy Support Group of Indian Epilepsy Association, that is the IEA, Mumbai chapter in 1992, to know more about the condition, why there is stigma attached to it. Kavita realized the predicament of parents with children with multiple disabilities and paucity of information for them. She realized that information is power and it can change lives. Thus, to empower them, Kavita compiled information on special education facilities, rehabilitation services, support systems, in the form of a website called www.childraise.com, which was launched in 2001. ChildRaise intends to provide rehab, awareness, information, and much more, which we'll hear from Kavita, today. Would prefer that she shares all of this with us. So, Kavita, first question coming straight to you is, can you share with our listeners the inspiration behind founding ChildRaise Trust and what led you, onto this remarkable journey of your life?
Sure, Chitra. I'll share my journey, but let me first thank you for inviting me to be a speaker on your Special Needs Children podcast, which is a very wonderful initiative, and I really applaud you for the same.
Thank you so much, Kavita.
So now I'll start with what was my inspiration behind founding ChildRaise Trust. It is said that necessity is the mother of invention. It was the same with me as well. I'll have to go back in time, Chitra. I had my first seizure, that is my first epileptic attack, a tonic-clonic one, on the delivery table when I was delivering my first child, my daughter. That is called an eclampsia in medical terms. But that was brushed aside, forgotten while looking after my healthy, fast-growing baby. We all forgot about it for the next 4 years. As life was pretty busy, as I was working in Reserve Bank of India, learning Hindustani classical music. I was acting in plays in our society cultural events and also representing RBI, acting in amateur Marathi plays. So many things I was doing during that time. And during one such drama rehearsal, I had another major grand mal seizure, and I was unconscious for quite some time. As you know, how it is with seizure or epilepsy attack, a person regains or becomes normal and can resume his regular activities depending on the severity of the seizure. Same happened with me. I resumed my rehearsals later on and the next day after taking some rest. Of course, my co-actors took me to a doctor when I had my attack. And during the medical examination, I was told that I was pregnant for the second time. Once again, my seizure was connected to pregnancy, and it was forgotten. And my second child, my son, was born, and we were again busy raising two kids and our busy hectic lives doing so many things. My husband had side by side working. He was also working in a bank and simultaneously had a catering business. So many things were happening at all the time. And suddenly, out of the blue, again after 4 years, I had my third attack, and it was not related to pregnancy. So, all the required tests were done, and I was told that I have an abnormal EG and I have epilepsy. So, so I never thought that these two letters, AB, the prefix representing abnormality, will change my life so much.
I can't even imagine, really.
Yeah. Even though I had full support from my in-laws, my husband's parents, brothers, their wives, everyone, I was completely like, it was a fantastic support I received. But I realized that people's attitude and reactions change once I tell them that I have epilepsy. So I had to find more answers and why this happens. Why is this stigma attached to epilepsy? So I joined Indian Epilepsy Association's newly formed support group, Samman, self-respect. I started going for support group meetings very, very regularly, like how people go to mandirs. Slowly it became, I started taking very active interest. I became the facilitator for support group meetings, office bearer, governing council member at central branch, so on and so forth. I was deeply involved in all the activities. I published few papers on psychosocial issues because, as you know, epilepsy, it is like it's a big spectrum. It can happen to people with intellectual disabilities. It can happen to a neurotypical, any person with a regular IQ. So it has many many dimensions to it. So I worked a lot on all these issues, wrote many epilepsy awareness plays because I was involved in, I was earlier involved in drama and singing. So I wrote many epilepsy plays, songs, represented Samman abroad. Of course, I'm still very, very closely attached to Samman. But while this was going on, I realized that my son was finding it difficult to write in school. Though he was very bright, especially with computing numbers and extremely good at maths, memorizing complex things, etc. So this was very baffling to us. And I really didn't know what to do about it because nobody had heard about dyslexia or dysgraphia, learning difficulties back then when it was in early 90s. So I had to insist on meeting school counselor and seeking solution. Then we were sent to Wadia Child Guidance Center, and there my son was assessed, and we were told that he has dyslexia. So this was way back in 1992, Chitra. So the epilepsy diagnosis was in 1992, and dyslexia diagnosis in 1994. Both invisible conditions. So unless we declare or disclose that we have these conditions, nobody knows. So both invisible conditions, but which require support, remediation, intervention. So once again, I joined a parent professional support group, which was just forming. And during this time, I was getting in, I was meeting a lot of parents, many professionals to do how to go, what to do next, and how to help myself and my son. So this time I realized that India lacks disability information infrastructure. Thus, I started, the idea of forming ChildRaise Trust or some information helpline or some kind of website, the idea started taking shape in my mind. Because each disability was like an island. It every disability, like they were working in isolation. Nobody was really, nothing was comprehensive, or nobody was really interacting with each other much during that time. I'm saying way back in early 90s. So I started collecting pan disability, pan India cross disability database of schools, shelter workshops, rehabilitation services. Because even I noticed that even the government websites or any other big major institution websites, they lacked the full information. Means like sometimes they just used to give the postal address, but they were not, the phone numbers were not mentioned, or the emails were not mentioned. The wholeness of the information, the completeness of the information was not there. So I thought I need to do something to change this, but how? Because I was still working for Reserve Bank of India full time, but I had made up my mind to train myself and to do much more in this field. So I took 1 year's without pay leave, and I did my B.Ed in special education from SNDT University, Juhu, Mumbai. Of course, this training helped me a lot to train myself to do the remedial therapy for others, and also to train my son. Of course, my son didn't require much intervention after the primary standards, but this helped me in training myself to be a good teacher, remedial teacher, therapist. And side by side, I started teaching and compiling all the data. And finally, after 5-6 years of my graduating and getting the degree in B.Ed, I launched my first comprehensive website of rehabilitation services in 2001, www.childraise.com. This is a website committed to empowering parents, persons with special needs, and of course the professionals with all the rehabilitation resources. So this is the story, Chitra, behind.
Thanks for sharing. I don't know how tough it must have been for you at that point. Can't even imagine. But yeah. It's great that you decided to want to set up ChildRaise Trust. So, could you please elaborate on the core mission of ChildRaise Trust? in the specific area that it focuses on, today to make a positive impact for parents and individuals with epilepsy?
Yes. Of course, those were the incredible years of tests, assessments, diagnosis, treatment, therapy, training, and of course, trials and triumphs. Uh, but at the same time, I I realized that only the website or the internet support will not be sufficient for the parents. So then the same information we tried to put it up in the resource guide form, and in 2004 the resource guide was published, Journey to Empowerment, uh, for a roadmap for children with special needs. And we believed, because we really believed that information is power and it can change lives. And with the click, we had seen with the advent of computers and all, that with the click, how much we can know, and how much we can really progress in life. So the this was ChildRaise.com was launched in 2001. Then the resource guide was published in 2004. Then my husband, my daughter, as I said, that my entire family was like very much deeply involved in the cause. So my niece, my bhabhi, then we became the trustees, and ChildRaise Trust was formed in, it was registered in 2006. So from 2001 till now, every month the website is updated, all the events are compiled, main disability days are highlighted, what is the importance of these days, why it is happening, or all the important events are covered. Then all the resource services contact details are updated very regularly. New information is added, or old irrelevant ones are deleted. So way back, we did not have the so much of computer access or mobile. So we published the resource guide, but then we realized that of course I did not have the publisher in vernacular languages. Otherwise, my focus is always on vernacular languages, because the parents have to have the information in their local language. But I didn't have the publisher, so we published the guide in English. But then the parents used to call me on my mobile, and they used to say that, uh, मैडम जी आप प्लीज आप कॉल करेंगे क्या, मेरे फोन में बैलेंस नहीं है. So this is a reality in our, because you working in this field, you know how much hard press a parent is for finances, because they are running helter skelter for therapies, and so much really it's an additional burden on them. I won't say the burden, but it is an additional, really the expenses are mounting. It's very tough for parents to manage. So then we understood the problem, and but how to help, because every child's case is unique. So we came up with the idea of toll-free helpline, and in 2010 11, on the International Day for People with Disabilities, it was launched, Disha, Disability Information Helpline and Action. The toll-free helpline we recently discontinued, because we now, if there is a dedicated mobile number, we can receive reports, send home-based programs, and so recently we have discontinued the toll-free service, and the mobile number helpline is in operation. And fourthly, I mean, see, Chitra, we try to provide internet support, we try to provide print support. then we came to a telephone support, and side by side we have a small cozy setup of walk-in center where we have one-to-one remedial therapy, we have workshops, sensitization workshops, parent training programs, etc. So this is the specific areas we try to focus. And basically, the mission, our ChildRaise mission is RAISE. It is an acronym, whereas R is for rehabilitation, A is for awareness, I is for information, S is for support, and E is for education. So
Wonderful. That's lovely. Really, you're doing some real grassroots essential service for so many people. And as you shared, people calling and saying that, they don't have balance on their phone. It's really terrible that they want support, but, they don't have the finances perhaps to uh, be able to understand what they need to do also. The other, immediate follow-through question is, who has been helping you? Can you please share about the importance of community involvement, therefore, and awareness, in creating a more inclusive society for all our individuals with disabilities? What would you say? Would love to hear.
Yeah. See, I have already mentioned that I have a fantastic family support, and even I have a great network of people in my society where I reside, and I have a really, really fantastic colleagues, friends, whom I have always really had a great help from them, always. So, but I thought that it should not be only like limited to my close circle. So I started before COVID, of course, not very recently, that the idea was taking shape in my mind that more and more people should know about these conditions, and how different organizations are working, and how we can really become more inclusive. So I started with one initiative called D2. It's a day tour to know more about and understand about disabilities, different abilities, diversions, advocacy, how parents have really struggled to. And as you know, you are so deeply involved in Forum for Autism, and now with this podcast, you know that. Like I think many leading organizations have been set up by parents, and they are doing such wonderful work. So I just wanted to let people know that what kind of work is happening in Mumbai, and how they can really be part of those initiatives. So this tour is about it is a detour. Why I called it detour? Because of course not not every time people will take this kind of people will not take this kind of a drive, or they will not come for this kind of outings. So that is why it is a detour, but it is
Very
also
nice.
yeah.
How often do you do this? Do you hold it?
I usually usually people contact me, a small group of some ladies group, or I have started with my own friends, and then some they take means like some people. It's not a very big group, because because the organizations we visit, they also have to really accommodate them, or uh, cater to them,
Got it.
because
Yeah.
we go to a spa where blind therapists are doing the therapy, like massage, Then we go to cafe like Arpan. Then we go to supported employment shelter workshops where fantastic handcrafted items are being made, how they are made. Then the group which I take, they interact with those people. Then we teach how to communicate with them, because the communication is so very important, because so many times we do not know how to talk to them, what is really what are the right terminologies to use them, how to make them feel good. So these are the things really we try to
Wonderful.
include in this tour. And
Very
then,
nice.
as I'm very much involved in epilepsy, I have started celebrating Purple Day since 2010. This day was started by a small girl called Cassidy Megan in Canada, and it's just like you just have to wear purple and show your support to epilepsy. So this is celebrated on March 26th. Then recently we had radio shows, talk shows, TV shows to celebrate International Epilepsy Day, which was celebrated on this year. It was celebrated on February 12th. So these kind of community involvement. So more and more people know about epilepsy and these invisible conditions. And we also have recently started a epilepsy medicine scheme called Sanjeevani, in memory of my father's Sanjeev Chandavar. So it is those who cannot afford epilepsy medicines, because you are aware that epilepsy medicines treatment can go on for very, very long. Sometimes it is lifelong. And because there are no funds, the parents discontinue the treatment, and seizures are not in control. The decline starts, and the intellectual disabilities start. I mean, it's like their efficiency is lowered. So many things, they cannot function, they cannot study. It's kind of a vicious circle. So we have started Sanjeevani scheme, and here we have started monthly giving. Absolutely, like a very, very small donation go a long way. So this way we have started community involvement and awareness. And again, of course, International Day for People with Disabilities celebrated on December 3rd. Then, of course, autism in April, Autism Day. So I try to every occasion I try to bring in and focus on certain kind of disabilities, whichever month they are celebrated. So this way, more and more people know, and post it on social media. Nowadays, we have a fantastic, very powerful tool. So this way, we try to get more and more community involvement and creating awareness.
Fabulous, yeah. Very nice. So, what keeps you motivated like this, inspired on a personal level in your role?
Um,
You're helping so many families. You have to keep talking to them. You have to keep guiding them. I'm sure that you're interacting with a lot of doctors also. You're guiding them to who to go meet and
yes,
so many things. Yeah.
yes. See, Chitra, to tell you very honestly, I have been very fortunate that both my epilepsy condition and my son's dyslexia were not so severe. Means I also had very few attacks, though they were very pretty much major, and it did change my life course. But it was even though as in epilepsy, we say it cannot be cured, but it can be controlled. They have always been in my with medication, my epilepsy is controlled. So I have been fortunate in that respect. So with early intervention, constant efforts from both our sides, we could overcome our respective conditions. In my son's case also, after primary level in school, he did not require much intervention. Maybe a little monitoring or a guidance from my side or my husband's side. But he knew how to work around his condition. And I'm really very happy to add that even though my husband had a flourishing catering business, my son followed his interest, did his BSc in stats, and later MBA in finance. He completed his, I'm very, very proud to say that he completed his CFA, FRM, and now he's a lead finance analyst in a leading MNC. So this really is a very,
That's
very
lovely.
yeah. This is I really tell you, Chitra, this is extremely gratifying for me as a mother, and what I have done till now, and how he I mean, my life has taken, though my life has took a like a different turn. It has really shaped up pretty well, uh, and now I must add that now again coming back to him and my personal life, he's happily married, and I'm very proud to add that my daughter-in-law is also uh, she's in mainstream education, but to help me in child raise work and all, she did her special educators course, and helps me in remediation and in child raise work. So this is extremely gratifying for me. And of course, uh, on other professional life, my work with Samman has given me tremendous amount of love, affection, recognition, and really a kind of identity. It has given me an identity in my professional life, and the kind of support, the kind of love I have getting from parents is really, I just can't tell you how much they really value my like involvement in Samman, and of course in this rehabilitation field. So
That's
I'll
lovely.
just I will just add that I had met in in one workshop, in one big conference. I met Professor Falik. He's a instrumental enrichment program practitioner, and I I shared my journey with him, and what he said to me has stayed with me absolutely. It is etched in my mind. He said, Kavita, you have come a long, long way because of your condition, because of your both your work in these conditions. You have touched so many lives. You have really made so much difference in people's parents' lives. So it gives me a lot of satisfaction. And when I remember his words, uh, and I'll summarize I'll summarize in Marathi. There is one great Marathi poet, Narayan Surve. He says that आज माझ्या वेदनेला अर्थ नवा येत आहे. आज माझ्या वेदनेला अर्थ नवा येत आहे आणि नव्या सृजनांचे क्षितिज रुंद होत आहे. That means my pain or my suffering has taken a new meaning now. And because of this, I have been able to create more, and it has widened my horizon. So I'll sum up with
Beautiful.
this.
Very beautiful. Lovely. So, yeah, and coming to the last question, Kavita.
And one more thing, Chitra, I must
Sure.
add that you said what keeps me inspired. Again, I would like to really add that people working like you and a lot of siblings or young people coming in this field and doing wonderful work really keeps me inspired. I watch a lot of I listen to many TEDx interviews, the talks, then listen to podcasts like yours, and it really keeps me very much motivated and inspired. I must add that.
That's very sweet of you, really. And yeah, a lot of youngsters coming in, a lot of our advocates in the space, all of these guys really inspire us to want to do more and, keep going. So, as someone so deeply involved in the field, what I wanted to ask you now, Kavita, which I've been asking literally every single person I've been interviewing, is that if you have three essential changes that you wish to see, in India for better support, better services for our people with disabilities, what would you say? Which are these three that you would count?
Mm. See, first, because I started with, there was no like accessibility for information. That was the reason I started. Uh, so I will say accessibility in physical form. Of course, we all know that our infrastructure, our roads, and they are so bad. So we have to have physical accessibility for people to be included in mainstream society. Then digital accessibility in all forms of services, and of course, as I said, only there's no point in having the accessible websites. There it has to be the wholesomeness of the information, completeness, correctness of the information, updated information, that has to be there, so that parents don't have to waste their time in just getting the information, which now can be available in a click. And awareness, advocacy, we have to have lot of pressure groups, because we have seen that to have the change in disability laws, how many deliberations had to be there were, and the pressure groups have to be there from the parents, so that the means things will keep rolling. And of course, then the sensitivity from authorities will come. There has to be less gaps in formation of laws and implementation, because we do have a lot of laws uh, in on paper, but it has to be implemented. And we have to see that, for example, we know that now for LD clinics, there are so many now I mean, there are so many children are identified as having learning disability, but less number of clinics. Parents are have to really to get the certification, they have to be from it takes them months to get the certification, and then the therapy starts, and so many things happen. So the coordination between all the professionals is also very important. I mean, it's like the after the once the diagnosis is done, so many times the neurologist or the diagnosing doctor, they do not know about any rehabilitation services. So again, the parents are at loss. So if we have the medical social workers in every hospital or every clinic, or wherein there is a link between the doctor and the uh, parent, because so many times now, for example, now for epilepsy, now we have to have the latest updated prescription for anti-epilepsy medicines, and it has to be updated every 6 months. But so many times, to get the neurologist appointment, a parent spends appointment is given, is available after 3 to 4 months. So again, after it is so very difficult to get the prescription updated, and you have to go to a doctor to get a neurologist to get it updated. So a child with epilepsy has to be taken. Means both the parents have to go. The whole day is gone in traveling. So many things, Chitra. The list is really
Yeah.
it's very very long, and of course
Yeah.
the affordability of the
True.
anti-epilepsy medicines, because again the compliance will be better,
True.
and government support. um and what I would like from my side to do is create information, create awareness videos in vernacular Hindi, Marathi language, so that I'm close to parents. I can reach out to them better, because not everyone can really uh, be so uh, be fluent in English, or so that the language should not be the barrier for access to information. Is uh, is what
True.
I feel.
Thank you so much, for spelling all of this out. Um, I hope, those who are listening to you understand that firstly, having a challenge personally, like what you shared to yourself, overcoming it, or even if it's a lifelong kind of challenge,
Right.
you can still help so many more, helping many more who are in the same boat like you is something that everybody would have heard from this, interview with you. Being in a place to be able to help others is something everyone can do, actually.
Absolutely.
Thinking about creating a network, being just available for those in need is a huge favor, I think, that all of us can do in our lives. You have shown how exactly this can be done. Giving your time to help so many families is really huge, very, very commendable, and extremely inspiring, Kavita. Thanks a ton for this interview. It will be heard by many, and I hope it will guide many such families and professions to work towards a much better world for our children and our adults.
Yeah.
Thanks a ton.
Thank you very much, Chitra. Thanks a lot. It's an honor to be on this podcast. I'm really glad.
Entirely my honor. Thank you so much. My privilege. Thank you.
You were listening to the Special Needs Children podcast with Chitra Iyer, the CEO of MFA and a trustee with the Forum for Autism. If you find this podcast relevant and interesting, it will be great if you leave a review, share, like, and subscribe. You can also let us know if there is any specific topic that you would like us to cover. Feel free to email her on chitra.iyer@myfinad.com, or you can call her on 9833 785 892. That is 9833 785 892.